Okay, Jackie and my friend Emily both said they're trying to get in. Okay, there's
Good.
Jackie.
All right.
Okay, let me see. All right. So we'll give it like 2 or 3 minutes for everybody to come on. And then
Okay.
I'll start.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't get any reception in my school, so it took me like 5 minutes to get out of the dead zone.
No, that's fine. How did it go?
Good. I'm just like really bad allergies right now. It's like horrible. I'm just like big complaint fest.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if it's like being in the building, like just like being in all that like stagnant air for the first time all summer.
Maybe. Is it an older building or a newer building?
No, but like, I'm sure that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you have like the air, like we don't have like central air at our house. Like I just feel like the air is different,
That's true. It definitely is.
Yeah. I don't know. Like not being outside for 8 hours. Like I don't know. It actually did get worse when I went outside and came back in though. So I'm wondering if it is maybe just like allergies. You said honey, so we'll go home and eat some honey.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've purchased like 15 bottles of local honey within the last 2 years at farmers market.
I was gonna say if you have local honey.
I know I have I don't know. Anyway. Is anyone else coming on?
My friend is trying to come on, but her iPhone's giving her a problem. It says that the address is invalid.
Huh. Shouldn't be. Can you resend her the link?
Yeah.
Tell her to hand key it in. Hand key the ID and the password.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't click it from my iPhone either. I had to type in everything.
I don't know if anyone else is coming. I'm sending some messages right now. And I made posts in both of the events. I think Leslie saw those. So we'll see. I hope Marianne's having a good time in Mexico.
Yeah.
No, I was wondering if anyone has talked to her.
No.
I haven't talked to her. I've seen her pictures that she's posted, but that's about it.
Did she go with Glenn or did she go by herself or with a friend?
I'm not sure. She just said that she got invited to Cancun. That's where it is. And she's trying to make I think she's trying to build a Plexus team or something is what it sounded like. I'm not sure.
She said she had someone interested down there and they were supposed to sign up Thursday. So I don't know. I messaged her, I think yesterday to see how it was going. But I haven't heard, so she's probably having fun.
I hope so. I would love to go to Cancun. Okay, well, my friend Emily's is not working, so hold on.
Hey, Robin.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
1 second. I'm going to go into the group and add my friend and then do a live in the group. She really wants to watch it, but she's having problems. So I'm inviting her.
I'll probably log off right around as soon as I get home, just because I haven't seen anybody all day. So just a heads up that if I pop off unexpectedly, I got home. So
That's fine. So, okay, I don't know if one of you all can if she, I don't know how it works. I invited her, so
I'll get it. I got it. I'm on it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was like trying to get the words out and like go in and so I can go live. Okay. I'll have it pointed at me and they just won't be able to see the presentation, but they'll be able to hear it. So, all right, I'm gonna go live on Facebook when everybody's ready. Oh, here's Kathy. Okay, all right, I'm going live. All right, and let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be a 3-part series for those that don't know about gut health and reproduction. First week, this one, we are going to talk about gut health and reproductive health and how they are connected. My name is Tashery. That's my 19-month-old son. He's breastfed, super healthy. And he loves mommy and he likes my plexus. I gave him a try of it one time, my pink drink. And he is here because of my experience with my own issues with gut health and reproductive health. So for those that don't know, I am a certified breastfeeding specialist and I have extensive knowledge through education and personal experience of gut health and the various issues that it can cause, and reproductive health and the issues that it can cause in men and women and both, and how they can be linked and cause things such as infertility and things like that. And a lot of you have probably heard this. You've been in a lot of our classes that we have every Thursday. Gut health is the key to overall health. Your gut health affects pretty much everything in your body, almost. There's not very many things that it doesn't affect. So if you have poor gut health, you're probably not going to feel well a lot and have issues with like brain fog and other things like that. So let's talk about the gut and the reproductive system first, and basically what they are and what they entail. The gut is the GI tract. It's a series of hollow organs that are joined in a long twisting tube, and they go all the way down from your mouth to your anus. And the organs that make up that GI tract are your mouth, your esophagus, your stomach, small intestine, the large intestine, and your anus. And over here, you can see all of them. The mouth would be a little bit farther up here. And then it goes down to your stomach, and you've got your pancreas behind there, your gallbladder, your liver, and then your small and large intestine, and your anus and rectum. And then over here, we have our male and our female reproductive systems. And the reproductive systems are a biological system that's made up of all the anatomical organs involved in your sexual reproduction. Includes many non-living substances as well, such as fluids, hormones, and pheromones that we excrete through our skin. And for the male reproductive organs, you of course have the seminal vesicle and the prostate and the testes and the penis. And then with the females, we have our uterus, fallopian tubes right here, and our ovaries, and then your cervix and your vagina. And a lot of people don't know, but your gut health can affect these organs. So having good, healthy gut is very important for a good reproductive system. Now, the connection between the gut and the male reproductive system is going to be different than the female reproductive system, but there are a lot of things that are the same. For sperm in the seminal fluid, it is what is contained in the bacterial community that is within the male reproductive system, and the microbiomes and microbiota are influenced by a lot of environmental factors such as the temperature, the pH, or the acidity of that environment. And male seminal fluid microbiota has been suggested as an important factor for couples to have a healthy pregnancy and the health of their offspring. That microbiota is how fathers pass info along to their partners and their offspring. So with the male reproductive system, it is to be believed that the bacteria that's located in their GI tract, it's inherited, or in our GI tracts, I'm sorry, is inherited from our father down to our offspring, and that can later determine things such as obesity and prostatitis that leads to prostate cancer. And the bacteria that is in the gut microbiota diversity, when it's increased, it is associated with a 28% higher testosterone concentration, which testosterone is needed to produce good quality sperm so that you have healthy fetus. And we know that the future health of our offspring is influenced by the condition of the male parent, by the health condition of the male parent. So if the male parent has an unhealthy gut microbiota, then that can transfer to your offspring and lead to them having a lower immunity and having lower gut colonization. Sorry, lost my train of thought for a moment. The environmental toxins that also affect sperm and male infertility are things like BPA. I know a lot of you have probably heard about that with things in like water bottles and like a lot of plastics and stuff that are in our food and things. And so with a higher concentration of that BPA in your system from all of those environmental factors, that's going to affect your sperm and your infertility. And probiotics have been found to have a huge impact and play a very key important role in male fertility, because they help combat things like that BPA exposure, and they help regulate that gut bacteria, that gut microbiota, so that it stays healthy, so that they pass healthy microbiota onto their offspring and their partners. And bad gut health can also lead to, in males, it can lead to a lot of vascular inflammation, which we know can raise hormones. One in particular is the TMAO, and that affects the blood flow levels and actually leads to erectile dysfunction in males. And you wouldn't think that having a bad gut health, would lead to something like erectile dysfunction, but it can. That's why it's important to have a healthy gut. And it's the same for females as well. The gut and the female reproductive system are extremely connected, and they affect a lot of things. So with women, 70% of women with unexplained infertility have extremely elevated levels of inflammation. These levels of inflammation, they're also present in women who have polycystic ovarian syndrome and who have endometriosis and who have unexplained infertility and PMDD, a lot of like period issues with women have high elevated levels of inflammation. And when women have a well-balanced gut microbiota, we're going to extract more nutrients from our food, which is going to provide more key nutrients to our eggs. Because with our eggs, we're born with them, all of the eggs. We don't make any new eggs throughout our life, whereas males continue to make new sperm. But our health can affect the health of those eggs because they are still stored in our body and our ovaries. So if you have unbalanced gut microbiota, it's going to have a negative impact on the development of your eggs and your pregnancy progression, the implantation of your pregnancy, and many things like that. And we've also found that recent research shows with recurrent pregnancy losses that a lot of the women have abnormal gut permeability. So they are having like an unbalanced microbiota, and they have a lot of bad bacteria, which is leading to the issues in their reproductive system. So sorry, I lost my train of thought. A healthy system is essential for successful pregnancy and conception, and even beyond that, as we will talk about later on in this series. We're going to talk about how even past pregnancy, after your baby is born, healthy system, healthy gut is super important. And another thing that having an unhealthy gut can affect is your insulin resistance and your blood sugar levels, which in women and in some men as well can lead to longer times to conceive. So whereas it might take a healthy couple with a healthy system that is not having any issues, might take them 3 or 4 months to conceive. But if you have an unbalanced gut microbiota that is affecting multiple parts of your body, then it's going to affect how long it takes you to conceive compared to somebody who has a healthy gut microbiota. And for women, in your gut, there are over 60 species of bacteria that regulate your estrogen. Which is key in your reproductive system for all kinds of things. So a disrupted microbiome is going to be seen in women who have PCOS and endometriosis, like we've talked about with the high levels of inflammation. So as you can see, a lot of things that an unhealthy gut, a lot of the side effects of that all are leading to things like PCOS and endometriosis. So having that healthy gut is going to really help to do things like lower your levels of inflammation and help with your insulin resistance, to help regulate your blood sugar and balance out your gut so that you can absorb more nutrients and have healthier eggs and things like that. And another thing that I found really healthy was a lot of women that have an inflammatory reaction that leads to leaky gut with that high level of inflammation again. We've seen a lot of that in women with miscarriages as well. So these are things that, if these are issues that you're having or symptoms that you're experiencing, then, and you're also experiencing other symptoms of an unbalanced gut, then these are definitely things that you want to try to regulate and get healthy so that they can start having a positive impact on your reproductive system and on your, your brain and your lungs and your heart and like every system of your body. Like we talked about earlier, your gut health affects everything. And it's extremely important in reproductive health. Gut health is the building block of reproductive health. So how does gut health affect the reproductive health? Parents' reproductive microbiota and probiotic intervention influence the infant gut colonization and immunity development, like we talked about a couple of slides back. So if your gut microbiota is unhealthy and it's affecting your reproductive microbiota to the point where you are having issues like PCOS or endometriosis, or you're having recurrent miscarriages, or you have unhealthy sperm because you have high levels of testosterone or low levels of testosterone, then those are things that you can pass through your reproductive microbiota onto your infant. And it can also lead to them having poor gut health and gut microbiota as well. And when your gut, which influences the health of everything in the body, isn't functioning at its optimal level, it has a knock effect on other systems of your body, including your fertility. So if I don't know if you've ever noticed, like if you have a bad like stomach virus or something, like sometimes you might have a little bit, especially for women, your period might seem like a little bit weird. Like it might not be a big change or a crazy change, but it might just be a little bit weird because that microbiota passed on to your reproductive microbiota and was affecting things there. And when it comes to fertility in men and women, your gut microbiome can make a huge difference. Research has shown that poor gut health, it can cause an estrogen imbalance in men and women because men do have estrogen as well. It's not just a hormone that women produce, just like women have testosterone as well too. And an imbalance in those hormones in both men and women can lead to infertility issues such as PCOS and endometriosis and testicular dysfunction, poor quality sperm, poor quality eggs, erectile dysfunction, a host of issues. So, pretty much most people, because I didn't even know this before I started learning about this topic, don't know that your gut health is going to affect things like this, because who honestly is going to think that they're connected? So the reproductive effects that your bad gut health can have are a lot of things we've already talked about. The PCOS, which for a lot of women makes it hard to conceive because it causes irregular periods and things like that. Doesn't always cause ovulation. Endometriosis, which makes it hard to conceive as well because that makes your uterine lining thicker than normal, so it makes it harder for your fertilized eggs to implant. Can lead to erectile dysfunction, which we all know in men means you have a problem getting it up. Increased inflammation, which we've talked about, which affects a lot of things and also causes some of those issues that are up there at the top, the PCOS and the endometriosis and things. Caused unexplained infertility, which a lot of people think when you hear infertility that like there's a cause, there's like we have to know what it is, there's got to be an issue. But for a lot of people, a lot of couples, they haven't found a cause. And this could be a pathway to leading to that cause of what could be that issue. The insulin resistance, like we talked about, which can lead to, again, the erectile dysfunction, among other things in your body. And the bad infant gut and immunity that we've talked about, which is super important, especially in like newborn infants So if they have that bad infant gut colonization, especially for preemie NICU babies, we know that that can cause some issues like potentially sepsis or a disease called NEC, which is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's necrotizing enterocolitis or something like that. I can't remember. And don't quote me on that being correct. But it's important that even before you become pregnant or try to become pregnant, if that's what you want, that you are making sure that you have good gut health and microbiota to pass on to your partner and your offspring. And recurrent pregnancy loss, there's numerous different types of miscarriages. I don't know if a lot of you have heard of them. There's things like a chemical miscarriage, which is where your fertilized egg began to implant, but it didn't really stick, as they call it. And then you essentially shed the pregnancy in what would seem like a normal period. So a lot of women don't even know that they've had that type of a loss. And then you have your early, like first trimester losses, which are typically the ones that are that could be linked to the bad gut microbiota from things like the leaky gut and things like that. Typically you're farther along in like the second and third trimester. Those miscarriages are more genetic causes and not related to something like bad gut health. They can lead to chronic yeast infections in women and men. Men can even get yeast infections. A lot of people probably don't know that, probably don't think about that, but yeah, men can get yeast infections as well. It's a little bit harder for a man to get a yeast infection, but it is possible. And then symptoms of low and high testosterone. I'm sure everybody's heard of roid rage. That is a symptom of having an imbalance of male reproductive hormones, testosterone being one of them. And those can happen even like if you're not taking steroids when you have bad gut health, because they affect those same hormone levels. So they can cause the same reactions in men and women. Now, let's talk about some products that can help correct these gut issues and help balance your gut microbiota and give you that good gut health, which will lead to good reproductive health, good sperm, good eggs, and help alleviate some reproductive disorders. Our first system here that we call our triplex is our cleanse and restore system. It's our weed, seed, and feed system. And it starts with the slim right here. And this is what we refer to as our pink drink. And it's going to work to stabilize your insulin levels and feed your gut beneficial prebiotics, which help so much with correcting that gut microbiota and balancing things out. And they prebiotics increase the expression of proteins, which hold the guts, which help hold your gut cells together. So that's a good benefit of the pink drink. And it has chromium and green coffee bean extract in it to support healthy glucose metabolism. That way you're metabolizing your food at a proper rate, so it's not too high, not too low, and you're getting the good stable insulin levels and the insulin resistance from that, so that you can break the glucose down properly. And then after that, you have the weed, which is the Plexus BioCleanse. And this is one of the probiotics. There's two that they have. And the benefits of the BioCleanse is it's going to help you support your body's natural detox process and get your digestion on track by removing harmful microbiomes and substances. And it's going to promote regularity and reduce gas, bloating, and discomfort. And then the Probio 5 is the wheat and seed. And it is a dual action formula. It means you get the benefits of 2 products in one. You're going to get beneficial enzymes and grapeseed extract. And it's going to help to weed out unwanted intestinal yeast, which is going to lead to those yeast infections like we talked about. But it also seeds your gut with 5 powerful strains of healthy probiotics. And then we have the Ease, which is going to help fight pain and inflammation and on a cellular level. And it contains turmeric to, again, help fight that yeast and fungus, which is going to help prevent things like the yeast infections, the endometriosis, the PCOS, and things like that caused from the high inflammation. And it's packed with great omega-3s, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard that omega-3s are important in reproductive health because they are a really good, great fatty acid. And then lastly, we don't call it the X series, but this is what I like to call it because it's the Mega X and the X Factor, which is going to work as like a prenatal system. So this is going to be really beneficial for women because even before becoming pregnant, you should be on prenatals because it has that folate in there, which we've learned that your body absorbs folate much better than it absorbs folic acid. So you're going to get a healthy heart, a healthy brain. And again, you're going to get those vital omega-3s from the Mega X. And then with the X Factor Plus, you're going to get the balance of immune function, healthy bones and muscles, and helps balance your thyroid and the rest of your hormones. And together, both of these have every ingredient basically of your typical over-the-counter prenatal, but they're not going to have all of the extra like fillers and things like that. And they're all plant-based. So that is our presentation. And I believe we have somebody who is ready to share. Jackie? Oh, Jackie's not with us. Leslie, do you know where Jackie's friend is? Joan, I think it was.
No, I do not.
Let's see if I know Jackie sent me a message. Let me see what it says. She said she keeps getting kicked out. Let's see if she's ready. She has a great testimony about the effect of balancing your gut health with Plexus products and helping conceive a baby because she had trouble with her first, I think it was her first 2 that Jackie said she had trouble conceiving, and then she started Plexus products and she did not have the same issues conceiving her, I want to say 3rd baby. Just a second, I'm checking to see if she's ready to hop on and tell her story. So Leslie, can you get a hold of her?
Okay, I'll try.
Because I messaged and I don't think she's seen it.
I have a question.
Sure, yeah. If there's any questions, anybody feel free to ask.
So how long does it take you to clean your gut out?
For it to affect your reproductive health.
Just and anything in general, like.
Well, it depends. It depends on your system personally. And obviously how imbalanced your system is going to be, which is going to affect how long it takes, because if your system is not imbalanced, then it may not take that long to get it back to where it needs to be. But if it's like really imbalanced, or your body is a little bit more tolerant to like vitamins and minerals, supplements, things like that, then it might, or intolerant wasn't the word I was looking for, has a higher tolerance level. That's what I meant. Then it might take a little bit longer, because I know some people who have like higher tolerances to medications might take a little longer for like a pain medication to kick in or something. Or if you have a slower metabolism, it's going to take a little longer for your body to break down the supplements and things. So it's going to take a little longer for the effects to get into your system. But that's why it's really important to stick to the Plexus products. And if you just take them for 1 month and you don't really see results, you don't want to give up just yet. Just keep trying. A lot of people who don't see results in the first like 4 to 5 weeks, they start to see results around that 6, 7 to 8 week mark. And so some people, it has also taken up to like 6 months before they really started to see results. So it just depends. But don't give up. If you are taking them and you don't have results yet, just keep trying. And I suggest like keeping track of maybe symptoms that you're having, or things like if you have the opportunity to like get some regular blood work done, like Leslie has mentioned, she just goes down to Quest Lab, then do something like that. Maybe get some blood work done before you start, and then after 2-3 months, maybe go get some more blood work done to see if those levels have changed, or if it's done anything, because maybe you're not seeing it do anything, but those levels are changing and things are balancing out. Because especially with like gut health, sometimes a lot of things we don't even know are happening. Because 1, we don't know what to look for, and 2, because they're happening so internally that like we don't feel them or see them, so we're not necessarily aware to them. So that's why even if you've never taken a supplement in your life, or a vitamin or anything, it's really important to take some kind of probiotic, and also a prebiotic is great as well, but even just a probiotic, just something simple and basic, even to help balance things out and work on getting things working correctly in the way that they're supposed to, so that you can start to feel better and you can start to see the effects of it, especially if you're having issues that are reproductive issues and you are trying to do things like maybe have children eventually, because it can affect your eggs and your sperm, like we've talked about. And next week we'll talk about how it can affect your pregnancy, and the week after that we'll talk about how it can affect your breastfeeding and your baby. So it affects a lot of things, so it's super important to make sure that you're having a healthy gut. And does anybody else have any questions?
What kind of supplements would be like for if you're having problems like with your teeth and stuff like that?
I'm not too sure. Leslie, have you heard of anything? I would think definitely something that has some calcium in it.
Yeah, we're gonna run out of time here. It's less than a minute left, seconds left. But
They can
yeah,
have live.
Robin,
The Facebook Live.